Back on the boxing grind. Chose to drop one more box-related video tonight because I was just feeling it. I got some information that came through about Jermell Charlo's next fight. He's fighting, fellow Detroiter Tony Harrison, and it's supposed to be announced this week, from what I understand. I believe it's going to be announced in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. So it don't look like the Charlos are going to get that homecoming fight that we was hearing about, like November 17th versus Willie Monroe in Houston. It seems like they're going to be headlining in Brooklyn. Sound like Jermell is going to be headlining versus Lucky unless something change and Willie Monroe step in there. And Jermell is going to be taking on, like I said, fellow Detroit Tony Harrison. Welcome to Goodfellas Sports TV. Back on the boxing grind, man. And, I think it's just solid right here, man. I think it's pretty solid. Tony Harrison, if you don't remember, Tony Harrison fought Jerry Hurd, was outboxing Jerry Hurd for every round until he was stopped. And it was looked like Tony Harrison was putting on a clinic. But obviously, he didn't have enough endurance and enough stamina to overcome Hurd's magical chin and determination, and he fell and got knocked out. Right now, he's number 5 in the WBC. Only 4 above him is Sergio Garcia. I'm not familiar with him. Excuse my ignorance on that. Kell Brook, obviously, we know he's going through a trainer change. Erislandy Lara, who may be on this card. I don't know. This is strictly speculation. He got to go ahead. Brian Carlos Castanos got to go ahead to fight him. So you can see Erislandy Lara on this card as well. And Julian Williams is number 1, which I don't know if Julian Williams may come back versus Jerry Hurd on a Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury undercard. But Jerry Hurd said he wants to tune up. So, obviously, Julian J. Rock Williams is, not obviously. He was ordered to fight Takashi Inoue. That didn't happen. Inouye's going another route. I can't remember who's Inoue fighting next, but you can see a triple header, junior middleweight triple header. Maybe 4 fights on there, but this fight is confirmed. Tony Harrison is a good fighter. Good athletic ability. Obviously, he didn't have top-notch stamina versus Hurd and versus Willie Nelson. He did lose to Willie Nelson, I must say. He threw everything hard at Willie Nelson, thinking Willie Nelson had a bum chin. And that was the knock on Willie Nelson, that he had a bum chin. I think Harrison might have dropped him one time or hurt him or something like that in that fight. And obviously, he got knocked out, because he shot his whole load. He shot his entire load at Willie Nelson, and Willie Nelson overcame it and he stopped him, and later down the line of that, about 4 fights later, he got stopped by Jerry Hurd. Okay. And he was beating both Jerry Hurd and Willie Nelson in people's opinion. But the problem with Tony Harrison is that on this level, he thinks his power is godly, worldly, it's elite. He believes a lot in his power. He has to learn to change speed. That you can't throw everything with bad intention and with hard balls. You got to just let your hands go. You got to minimize your movement at this level. This level, you can't box and move versus a guy like Hurd for all 12 rounds. You have to do enough movement, and you got to do enough change in the speed of your punches to keep them guessing, and then set them up with the hard shots. That's how you knock guys out. And for Jermell Charlo, this is a sneaky fight for him, man. This is a fight that he could lose. Tony Harrison is really a talented fighter. He ain't no slouch when he lost. Wasn't that he was getting outboxed. It's just that he didn't have the stamina, the experience to fight elite 12 rounds or 10-round fights with these elite competition fighters and these elite prize fighter level fighters. So, but I do expect Jermell Charlo to beat him, knock him out. That'll be interesting. It's possible. Harrison is trained with he done trained with Triple G. I think he done learned from his mistakes. This is gonna be a tougher fight than Jermell Charlo, excuse me. 154-pound Charlo is maybe expecting, but he's in shape. He's staying in shape, so he ain't got to get in shape because he already in shape. He just got to go to camp, shed off the few extra pounds. This ain't the fight everybody want to see. Everybody want to see him fight Jerry Hurd. And basically, it sounds like we on Jerry Hurd time because of his shoulder. So you want to make sure he healed and give us the best fight of Jerry Hurd. Somehow grow out the weight division without fighting Jermell Charlo. it wouldn't surprise me in this boxing world at all, man. You know, it wouldn't surprise me. You know, but you know, one thing, you know, Jermell do is gotta take this opponent serious. Don't treat it like it's just somebody that threw in there with you. He is ranked in the top 5. He just beat Ishe Smith. He built himself back up. And one thing for sure, he an athlete. He got skills. He got amateur pedigree. Emmanuel Stewart was coaching him. And he could pop. So you got to respect anybody that got those attributes. Now, you know, would this be a classic fight? Probably not. But I think it's going to be a really good, entertaining fight. I think it's single percent chances that this fight fails to produce action and live up to the to expectations. So you always want to see guys get opportunities. Al Haymon is giving Tony Harrison another opportunity. If he could beat Jermell Charlo, you know, he could be a star in the sport. So I'm believing it's Brooklyn. Okay, I'm believing it's at the Barclays Center. It's not going to be in Houston, so it ain't no problem with venue. As far as guys want to come to Houston and face Jermell Charlo, like they're going to do it in Brooklyn. I would like to see it have been in Houston for both of the Charlo twins. If they truly headline these cards, see, you know, I like to see them get a hometown fight, but now they headlining. They ain't behind a couple fights. They ain't no longer behind Lara. In your first headline fight, it shouldn't be versus the killer. Unless you fighting for a title. You know, so I'm happy for everybody involved. I'm happy that Tony getting work. I'm hoping that Jermell getting work. Happy that Jamal getting work versus Lucky. That's a very good fight. Good fight card that I can respect, you know, because obviously Jermell is waiting on Herb and Jamal is waiting on Golovkin or Canelo or whoever the hell they waiting on. So I definitely can respect them. I'm going to call this a cheesy duck card. And if Lara's fighting Brian Carlos Castano on this card as well, I can respect that fight as well because Carlos Castanos is a regular WA champion. He hasn't got much exposure in the U.S., but had a tough fight with Michael Soro. You know, he beat Derbychenko in the World Series of Boxing. He beat Errol Spence in the amateur. So, you know, he got some pedigree, and I think Lara's in a little bit of trouble with that guy. That guy can really fight. He really let his hands go, and that would tell you that Lara will have some counterpunching opportunities if that fight go through. It is said to be Lara's last fight. I'm not saying Lara's on this fight card, or I'm not saying that I know 100%. Well, I do know this fight, at least the Jermell Charlo and the Tony Harrison fight. According to Jermell Charlo, his next fight will be in Brooklyn. I got, you know, some intel that it will be Tony Harrison. I will never reveal that. The game is to be sold, not told. But it'll be Tony Harrison versus Jermell Charlo. And I believe, this is just speculation right here, that Jermell Charlo's lucky to be the main event. It'll be on Fox. Also, you know, I believe that Erislandy Lara and Brian Carlos Castanos is going to be on the card. And I think you got 3 wonderful action-packed fights. I think Carlos Castanos versus Lara is going to be a technical fight, but it's going to be action. I think just as Jared Hurd brought the best out of Lara, Castanos throws a lot of punches, and he'll bring the best out of Lara. I think Tony Harrison will compete well versus Jermell Charlo. He'll get some shots in. I think Charlo will get a good run, but I think Charlo probably will just be a class or two above Harrison and probably get him up out of there or be a good, unanimous decision for him. And Jermell Charlo versus Lucky, that's a good fight. It's a good gauge for fans to gauge what Danny Jacobs did versus Lucky and what Jermell Charlo could do versus Lucky. I wouldn't be surprised if Lucky could pull off the upset. I wouldn't be surprised if Lucky. Some people say Lucky beat Jamal, but we're going to really see where Jamal's attitude, where his level of boxing at, and where his level of power at. How good, how big is his power? So I think all this is making for a good card. It's not the elite card that you want to kick off Fox with, but I think it's just right a level below that. So I'll give praise to this card. Shout out to everybody that's holding us down. Don't forget, we on Facebook. For now, that's the only I'm going to do is Facebook. Got rid of Instagram and Twitter. I'm just going to write on Facebook. So you want a video request or you want to get in contact with me, just email me. Video request, my email's open for that. Information, you want to know something, or you got some sources, just email me or send it on Facebook, our like page. Also, if you want to make a donation, PayPal link is there in the description as well. You want to know where the intro instrumentals come from and our intros, that link is in the description as well. And I definitely appreciate everybody that continue to rock with us, continue to hold us down. Much blessings to you, brothers, as well. And we'll continue to bring that heat. boxing, NFL, NBA. Y'all know what the business is.